So for today's video, I kind of just want to go over my plans and kind of what I want out of this channel and out of, I guess, my social media and photography for this year. But instead of just making it just as me sitting down in front of a camera and just talking to the camera, I'd figured I'd experiment with a little bit of an idea that I had. I was watching my little brother play some video games, and there was commentary, and there was, how when gamers have like their screen recording their PC, but then they're in the little corner and they're commentating on it or just having a conversation. I feel like, why not bring that style into photography? So instead of just me talking about what I want to do with this channel and all that stuff, I figured while I have that conversation, I could edit some photos here, and then so at the same time it's not just me talking and rambling. There's a little bit of content that you'll be able to see visually instead of just myself. It's a bit of an experiment. I don't know how it's gonna work out. Let me know if you like it, or if you think it's a good idea, if I should keep doing these, because I kind of feel like this could evolve into something bigger, like maybe into a conversation, maybe having a friend and I editing some photos and seeing our progress, our workflow, and at the same time having a conversation about photography, about any kind of aspects of film, or it doesn't even have to be photography, just in general, but there's still that photograph aspect to the channel by the photos being edited. But yeah, it's a new idea. I'm gonna try it out, see if it works. Again, let me know if you think, if you like it, and I might just keep doing more of these, because going out and taking photos and recording myself taking photos gets a little cumbersome, and it's kind of takes away the fun of photography. So I figured this would be a good way of showing you photos still, but at the same time have a little bit of downtime and just have a conversation. So yeah, let's get started. So I already have these photos pulled up. I had shot a roll of, I believe this was Portra 400 on my Minolta XGM, which is now broken officially. The shutter, if you follow my Instagram, you would have seen on my stories, but pretty much the shutter curtain on the back of it, let me put it into bulb. The shutter curtain on the back of it only opens about a little bit less than halfway. So I have more cameras, I'm not really too worried about it, but officially out of commission for now. But yeah, I had thrown in some Portra 400, and I was shooting that on my Minolta X700 with the 50 millimeter rocker 1.7. So yeah, I'm just gonna go through. I don't really edit my photos too heavily. Just make some slight adjustments and stuff like that. Straighten them out and everything. I don't really want to take away too much of the film essence of the photograph. But yeah, so pretty much as we get started here, this was a photograph of as you can see here, of a pharmacy that is around my neighborhood now. But yeah, so pretty much what I want from this channel, as I've mentioned before in some of my other videos, I just kind of want a little bit more of a place where these images can live. I don't really have, I'm pretty bad with having my, with posting my photographs onto my social medias. So I just kind of want a place for all this stuff to just kind of like live, and just have a place so I can showcase them and just kind of like do my thing. Also, I feel like a lot of the other bigger cities, New York, Los Angeles, stuff like that, they have this culture already built in, and I don't really see too much of it in my area in Fort Worth. There are a couple of photographers that definitely like are killing it and are from here. But I was having a conversation with one of my friends from Fort Worth Photo Lab, talking about bringing that essence and like that culture more towards down in this area. So that's one of the things that I kind of want out of this channel, just to like have a place for my pictures to live and like just bring attention, because I feel like we have a lot of good people, a lot of good talent around here. But yeah, as you saw in that first photo, there wasn't much to change. I kind of just really like the image already. Oh, wrong way. Oh my God, what am I doing? There we go. So it'll probably be the same edit from here, so nothing crazy here. So that's essentially what I'm hoping to get out of doing this. And also, oh shit. Also, so something that I have been thinking about lately was being creative and doing photography in general is awesome. You know, it makes me happy, and at the end of the day, that's all that should really matter, is just whatever makes you happy. But you also have to go in and consider things have costs. Film isn't cheap, you know, shooting film isn't cheap, especially like if you have a house, if you have a mortgage or car payment. Having that film aspect thrown into that into those expenses makes things a little bit expensive. So what I am hoping to kind of get out of expanding my social medias over into YouTube, instead of just being closed off on Instagram, is hopefully getting more exposure to lead to some kind of career opportunity, or just even some side hustle, some side income. I think people lie whenever they say that, oh yeah, I'm just doing this for fun. I think to some aspect they do want some kind of monetary gain from it, because it just makes this so much easier. So if we're being honest here, that's something that I also kind of wish I could hope to get out of this. A little bit of more exposure to just kind of get more, I guess, how should I say, more income, side income to come in. I don't want to be like a crazy YouTuber or whatever. I just want like a little bit of financial assistance when it comes to, you know, living life, especially in the technology era. I feel like that's so easy to do here. But yeah, so for these two, they were just pretty simple edits, honestly. Just lowered the highlights a little bit and brought up the shadows to kind of make the exposure. So there's a before on the first one, and the after, just straightened it out. This one, again, just kind of straightened out the photograph a little bit, looks, and brought down the highlight so you can see the sign. So moving on over into this church spot, what I really liked about this area was this really grand church, like this massive church with just one little car, to really show the scale. So I literally just pull over into the parking lot and I just snapped a picture. I didn't even get out of my car. So nothing much here to do either. Probably just brighten it up. It looks a little warm. I mean, it looks a little cool, so let's add some warmth in there. Maybe some purple. No. Yeah, some purple. I don't really edit, like I said, I don't really edit my photos too much. It's always just simple adjustment here to kind of try to get it closer to what I remember the day being like. Let's bring up, and a lot of it is just playing around with each individual setting here. So like, I don't really have I mean, I do have my presets for my digital work, but I don't really have presets for my film, because I feel like on that it's just every picture can be so different, because every exposure can be so different. Let's bring that up a little bit right there. So yeah, and then so that's pretty much what I kind of want for what I hope to take a step forward in my YouTube channel. Let's bring up the saturation a tad right there. And then going over to my Instagram now. If you're not following me, my link to my Instagram is down in the description. Dress Duran. Super active on my social media all the time, honestly. Especially on my stories. I'm always posting, like if I'm out shooting, I'm always posting behind the scenes and everything like that. So if that's something that interests you, make sure to check it out. Shameless plug right in there for the few that will end up watching this. But every year at on January 1st, what I do, I take a screenshot of my following. My pretty much, personally, I refer to them as more of my stats. What I do that, oh wow, that made a big difference. It looks really dull right here, and then now it's like more lively. It was an overcast day, so it's no real colors in the sky, but that looks so much better. I think I'm happy with that one. What I do, I screenshot my following at the very beginning of the year to kind of see where I was, social media wise. Besides that, I don't really look at numbers too much. I don't really, to be honest, I won't even check how many likes a photo gets until like a couple days later, when I just happen to be on my profile replying to some comments or something. So it's not really about like numbers to me, but it's just more about growth, to see, okay, what kind of year was I having this year? Like maybe should I change something that I'm doing, again, to just kind of like try to up my ante when it comes to my social media presence. So that's what I did this year. I screenshotted my page. See if I can throw it up here on the screen here or not. So using the information from that compared to last year's, I've decided to make a couple of changes, or I've already started to implement those changes, I should say. One of those was starting a YouTube channel and showing my face more often on my profile. I feel like I've gotten some pretty good feedback analytics wise when it comes to that. I feel like people can know kind of more of who I am, and I've become more relatable in a way. So I feel like that's one of those things that'll kind of end up working for me. So I'm gonna try to keep pushing that, also be more active, and kind of show my personality and kind of show my day-to-day things more often, not just photography. We all love photography, but like we have to also connect with the people that follow us, I think. So that's kind of what I do with my social medias. Every year I just kind of like screenshot and take a gaze, and take what's the word for it, and take inventory of where I am. Let's do this 4x5 because Instagram, am I right? Let's see. So this was actually right after the sunset. I was actually locked in my room just editing, and then I happened to get on. I have a little chat with some other film photographers here in Fort Worth, and they all were sharing their pictures of the sunset. So I literally ran with my camera outside to try to snap this. I think it was like f1.7 at 1/60th of a second or something. Really beautiful colors in the sky. But I do want to bring up the foreground just a little bit because it was way too dark from before. Not something crazy like that, because that looks way too fake. But just something subtle, like right in there. That way you're aware that there is a house in there. And let's bring up the exposure a little bit. Right in there. That's good right there. Just need to bring up a little bit of the saturation, I think. About 10. Oh yeah, it looks really good. So yeah, where was I? We were talking about Instagram. So something else that I'm gonna try to do more is also be more active. I did start a separate Twitter because I figured the Twitter that I was using currently is just really just dumb stuff. Honestly, just like a lot of people's, just reposting memes and funny videos and liking sports stuff. So it wasn't anything like strictly photography. So I did start a separate Twitter page for photography. It's the same handle as my Instagram, Dresduran, if you want to go follow me on that. So pretty much the reason I did that was I wanted to expand, also just be more versatile on social media, expand my reach, or what little reach I have, over into Twitter, to kind of just keep expanding, like I keep saying, across all social medias, to just kind of try to get a little bit more exposure and like just see what comes about it. I'm still not too active on that, honestly. What I am kind of using it more as is like, especially after the new how Twitter updated its resolution for photographs. So what I'm really doing there is I'm doing like sneak peeks into my upcoming Instagram posts. So like I'll post, for example, if I'm gonna post on Friday or something, or on a Sunday, I'll post on my Twitter like on Tuesday, and then share that onto Twitter so it's already living there. And then I'll take a screenshot of my tweet, and then I'll post it onto my Instagram stories to kind of try to cross promote. And then that way I'll be like, hey, you know, like, go check out the little bit higher resolution photos on my Twitter. And that's kind of what I've been doing. It's not, I mean, I don't really care too much about Twitter, but like just having multiple avenues to like express yourself creatively, I think is pretty good. Is a pretty good idea to have. Let's see, that's pretty good with that one. So let's just copy. Let's go ahead and copy all of them, because there is one photo here that I happen to grab. Let's move it. I know there's keyboard shortcuts, but I fucking suck at that. I happen to get this guy walking through, which I kind of liked. So let's see. There we go, and just transform it. No, it's still not. And there we go. That's pretty good. Oh. And let's crop this one actually to 4x5 to bring more attention to the man. Let's see. I think right there looks pretty good. Maybe let's up the exposure a tad. Yeah, right there's pretty good. So yeah, so that's kind of like my strategy for this year for social media. Don't get me wrong, like I know that if I was watching a video like this and the person just kept talking about they just want more exposure on their social media, I would kind of think that that's all they want out of photography. But I've been doing photography. It's 2020 now. It's been a little bit over 8 years since I've had an actual camera taking pictures. But I mean, I've been into photography since like the Galaxy S1s were out, like on my mom's old point and shoot film cameras. Like I've always had that interest in photography itself. I even remember one time in, I think it was like 3rd or 4th grade, we had like career day or something, and you know, you had like the firefighters over and like the cops and everything. And I vividly remember walking back with my friend. It was like 3rd or 4th grade. Walking back into our classroom with my friend, and he was like, "Oh, that's really cool. Like, I want to be a cop. I want to be a cop." I remember telling him, "Yeah, cops are cool, but like, what I would really want to be." I remember telling him what I would really want to be is a photographer. He's like, "A photographer?" And I'm like, "Yeah, but for Playboy, you know, little kids, we're all immature and stuff." But even since then, like I've had that interest in photography, even if back then it was just kind of like for Playboy, because that's when what's that show with Hugh Hefner, where he had his girlfriends live. Let's see, let's look that up. Playmate TV show on E. I remember it was on E. The Girls Next Door, like even like you would like I'd kind of like low-key watch that, because it's like when you're going through like puberty or whatever, and like you're getting more curious about things. I would watch that, and I would always see the photo shoots going on like in the background, and I was like, oh cool, like this is what people are doing for a living, like they're taking photos, like that's awesome. So even since like I was like when I was younger with my mom, and like in like 4th grade, like, and then even up until like 2012, 2011, like I've been into photography. But like I'm at a point now where I feel like, okay, like this is what I'm really passionate about. How do I monetize it? And I kind of thought attention attention is how you can monetize your work, or even just like yourself. I've obviously been watching way too much Gary Vee, as you can tell, but pretty much like you need an audience in order for you to monetize any kind of thing, I feel like. So this is all this Twitter and YouTube is my attempt at expanding my audience. If we're being honest, I feel like I can be completely honest here. If we're being honest, that's kind of what I feel like. But to be a little bit more sentimental, I've made some of the best friends that I've had through photography, through meeting people here locally, just meeting people that are also passionate about the same thing I am, talking about it. Like, I feel that it introduced me to so many good people, and that would always be something great to have, is like having this lead into more connections, into more networks, so where I can meet more passionate people that are into about photography and stuff. So I also kind of hope to do that, like just kind of keep meeting people, just keep shooting with new photographers in the area, just kind of like getting to know more people that are also passionate. I had to check if my battery was going, because I don't have a flip screen on my Sony, so we're back. Also, speaking about artists and people, the person you see on the screen here, his name is Ociel. I actually work with him, so I've known him for a couple of years now. I've known him for we've been working together a little bit over 5 years. Very talented person here himself. He's actually in a band. Very funny dude. And more recently, like he's really been coming out to anything that I'll be having. Like if I'm doing a photo walk, if I'm doing a photo meetup, like cause me and some friends run a couple of pages here in Fort Worth. I've had if I have like a gallery, or if my work is being displayed, like he'll show up and he'll always support, which is great to have people like that around you, just always kind of pushing you forward, encouraging you. So super nice guy here. Also, and he's gonna start vlogging now, which I was really excited for. We actually went on a photo walk, which is a video that I plan on dropping hopefully next week. It's gonna be about a super exciting camera and a super exciting service that my friends over at Fort Worth Photo Lab are going to be doing. He actually went out there just to kind of hang out, and he kind of like vlogged a little bit of that of the day. But yeah, so let's raise up the shadows, crush the blacks a little bit. So that's kind of my goals for my social media. Goals photography wise, there's really two sides to my photography. There is my hobby creative side, which is film, anything that you see on my main Instagram, and then there's my clientele section, which is my digital stuff, couple sessions, portrait sessions, off camera flash and stuff like that. I'm not going to talk too much about that because that's a separate topic. I don't know if it would flow too well here with the film channel that I kind of have going here. But my goal creatively for this page is just to keep shooting, man. Like just keep having fun, keep loving photography itself, keep being passionate about it. As long as I'm having fun with it, I'll always love it, and I've yet to like get bored. So my main goal on my creative side is just to keep enjoying it, just keep loving the photography aspect of just being able to grab a camera, grab some film, and just literally going and making something yourself. Just kind of having that joy of the process. Just if I can keep that up, I'll be good. Let's bring up the shadows on this one. It was a little bit too crushed. I underexposed this shot a little bit. And then my goal for my clientele side, like my portraiture, last year was the first year that I really like put myself out there and said, hey, I'm gonna be like, I'm a photographer. I never like labeling myself as that. I never like taking jobs from like families like, oh hey, will you take my pictures? I never like doing that. um, but last year was really the first time that I did that. So it was more of I treated last year as a foundation, like okay, I'm gonna lay down my foundation, um, business wise, and then kind of just see what happens from there, and then hopefully next year just keep building on it. So this year I'm in the building stage of it. um, I just want to grow business wise. I just want to keep pushing that forward, also just kind of keep getting clientele, keep doing the best that I can do for other people's sessions, for other people's portraits, and just hopefully getting more and more jobs on the side to just kind of support myself financially a little bit, just having extra money come in. So we'll see how that goes for this year. So the guy you see right here, his name is Greg. Now I met Greg a couple of weeks ago now. We me and some friends had met up in the morning to go just walk around town and do some photography. And after we're done and all, we go back to this coffee shop called Vaquero Coffee here in Fort Worth, which speaking of that, I actually have my photos up in their coffee shop right now. It's gonna be up there by the time this video goes up. It'll probably be up there for another couple of days, but I will make a video on that, just kind of like telling you my experience as to how I got my photos in a shop and up for sale. And also like I've also done another gallery here, so just kind of like talking to you about my experience. I do plan on making a video on that, like how to get your photos more exposure in public. But anyway, we were there. We were just kind of hanging out. I don't really like coffee, by the way, but my friends do. We were all just kind of there, just kind of hanging around, talking. Our cameras were on like a little coffee table that they had. And then this guy, he walks in, he orders coffee, and he leaves. But then he comes back in, and then he starts talking to us about photography, because since he saw our cameras, turns out Greg is from New York, moved to San Francisco, was living in San Francisco for a while, and then now just recently moved in here to Fort Worth about probably now like 7 months. And he's been like looking to get into like just into shooting more and more, because pretty much the way he said it, every photo meetup, all the photographers are in Dallas. Dallas is like about 45 minutes away here, but it's like the bigger brother to Fort Worth. As a lot of people mention it, I don't like calling it that, but it's more known globally, or I mean across the nation. Dallas is more known than Fort Worth. But he said that he's really like enjoyed his time here. Like he compared it to San Francisco in a way. I didn't really understand how, but the way he put it was like the art scene, the people are very very much reminded him of his home in San Francisco. So after we had a conversation, he's actually a concert photographer and also does like fine art and fashion. Yeah, so I don't know what happened there. I was talking about Greg, and then it just cut off. I'm guessing maybe my camera only does 30-minute recording increments, because it ended up cutting about 30 to 35 minutes in. But I think if I remember correctly, I was talking about what lens I was using, which happened to be this one, the 135 Minolta 2.8, which is technically on loan from a friend. I still have it. It's been quite a while, but this was actually the first time I used it for an actual portrait. I think I had it stopped all the way down to 2.8 because it was kind of overcast that day. So I had it stopped all the way down, and it really created some really nice bokeh, which I really like. So I'm definitely going to try to use more of that lens afterwards. But other than that, I think after this, I think all I did was just kind of summarize my thoughts. So yeah, because every year what I do, I write down my goals and aspirations into a journal. Um, and then because I've recently become more, how should I say, it's more into the whole manifestation of your goals and stuff like that. So I found writing them down and putting them into the world, into a physical space like that, has really helped me be more in focus to kind of attain the goals that I want to try to attain. Now, I'm not saying that if you write down, I'm gonna win the lottery, or I'm gonna buy a Ferrari. It's not just gonna happen. It's not magic. But I think writing your thoughts down and your goals down kind of just puts it more, engraves it in your mind a little bit better, so you're more aware of the situations and opportunities that can lead you to the path to your goal. That's how I think of it, at least. But yeah, again, I don't know what happened. If you like this kind of video where I'm just kind of editing or doing something with my photographs and just kind of having a conversation about a certain topic, let me know. Make sure to like the video, leave a comment, and see something that you want to hear me talk about or something. Any ideas? Should I even keep doing these? I might do one more just to kind of see where it goes. But yeah, stick around. I will display all the final videos here at all the final photos here at the end. So let me know which one of those you like the most. But yeah, other than that, make sure you subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, and follow my Instagram for more behind the scenes, more of just everyday stuff around photography and a little bit of sports in my life. But thank you so much for watching. Catch you hopefully next week. Later.